Hello everyone, my name is Prabnur Singh and welcome to Team XA's capstone project, the Universal Mass Transit Assessment System, which we call UMTAS. Team XA is comprised of Victoria Donko, Andrew Robertson, Dominic Chan, Prabnur Singh, Evan Rube, and Wally Khan. As you sit there, let me ask you to reflect on a few questions. Have you ever gotten lost in a subway station? Have you ever been late to work because you couldn't find your platform? Have you ever been unable to use a subway because there was no elevator available? See, these are just some of the many problems with our transit system that need to be addressed. And that's where we come in. Throughout this presentation, we will be discussing the project itself, the stakeholders and those involved in it, a sample checklist and a preview of the final product, and what need is there for this? And finally, where we expect to go with this in the future. UMTAS is a system that was created to evaluate subway stations based on the presence of the 7 universal design principles. The idea is that a person, regardless of their stature and ability, should be able to enter a subway station and get to the platform without any struggle. This system would be used by a company that is interested in the accessibility and the universal design of the station, such as the Canadian Standards Association or the Toronto Transit Commission. Simply put, this is a black box methodology which allows a user to create checklist items from the given CSA B651 standards, carry out the actual assessment in the subway station, and come up with results in the form of qualitative impact data through assessing the non-compliance of checklist items and suggestions on improving the checklist. The final product is compiled in a document called instructions, which the field person can run through and carry out the procedure. I'm sure by this point you're wondering how the system works and what it is comprised of. The system consists of instructions for generating a checklist for evaluating a subway station, instructions for assessing the non-compliance of the checklist items using the 7 universal design principles, and finally, instructions for creating an evaluation method to be used while conducting the evaluation. The system is meant to be used to generate a smooth evaluation for any subway station in the world, being adjusted to fit the specific criteria of the subway system of interest. So, who is this actually for? The intent is that we will hand off UMTAS to the CSA, who will improve and validate UMTAS as need be and then show it to the transit agencies. The agencies will then be able to use the system to evaluate their infrastructure and make the necessary changes, thus improving the lives of all of their passengers. Esri's Survey 123 is the platform that we've decided to store our checklist on. The next two videos will show how the Survey 123 application works. This app can also be run offline with the proper guidelines.
Welcome to Getting Started with Survey 123 for UMTAS. First, search for Survey 123 in your platform's respective app store. Then we can download Survey 123. Once Survey 123 has been downloaded, I can open a link to a survey, for example, in this message I was sent. Simply select to open the survey in the 123 Field app, wait for it to download, and then start filling out the questionnaire.
The next component of the checklist is actually doing the survey.
Let's see how to do a survey in Survey 123 for UMTAS. First, check to make sure that Survey 123 is installed, or if it's not, you can use a web browser. Then open the survey, which typically comes in the form of a shared link. If the app is installed, make sure to open it in the app. Now we let it download, and then we can begin filling out the survey. In this case, we're doing a station survey, so we'll see questions such as what is the station's name, where is it, and what identifier should we use to reference it elsewhere in the system. We ask questions like who the evaluator is and what the current weather is so that we can get into the same frame of mind when we come back afterwards, and if there are unusual results, perhaps we can find out why. Now we can begin the evaluation. In this case, we're asking general questions that apply to the entire station, such as how you can get in or whether there are accessible features to get down to platform level. When we're done, we can send the survey in and the results can be collected back at the office.
After completing the checklist and its relevant testing, the user must begin identifying potential impacts that may occur due to the non-compliance to the CSA standards. The identification of non-compliance assists in providing impacts and resolutions to the non-conformance to the standards outlined by the CSA. Once a user has identified the gaps in conformance, the user may begin to provide potential impacts. This may include the impacts on the general public that utilizes the subway or the workers as well. Let's consider this example from the checklist itself. Is there a landing zone on a flight of stairs? If the answer is no, there is not. Then the impacts must be stated. Potential impacts include, but are not limited to, physical strain on those using the stairs, unintended marginalization on those who have cardiovascular diseases, marginalization of those who are not of normalized physical fitness, etc. And this list can continue. The user may send these results to subway station agencies to provide context as to why, by not meeting these standards, how people are negatively impacted by the laggard efforts of the transit agencies. Now, what is UMTAS for and what need is there actually? If you think about it, verifying things is hard. Having a consistent, straightforward way to check if something was working or not would be very useful, especially when it comes to a set of standards laid out by the CSA. There is no structure put in place to assess the validity, effectivity, and the impact of the current built environment on people at subway stations. But why is this new? Where is the novelty within UMTAS? See, this is a new system because standards in themselves do exist. However, there is no system designed specifically for helping the evaluators of these standards in the field. The system is made to get inside the evaluator's brain when they are performing the evaluation, to guide them to take every step necessary to make an effective evaluation. UMTAS strives to give the evaluator a set of ways to think when performing the evaluation, to ensure that there is absolutely no step missed within the black box methodology. So why is this useful? Well, it's useful not only to ease the stress of the evaluators in the field, but also for the results of using the system itself. The results of these evaluations will help transit agencies identify any gaps that currently exist between the universal design standards for public buildings and the design of the building itself. UMTAS will also lead to more reliable and consistent results, as it is intended to be a platform upon which universal design evaluations can be built. The idea is that any technical employee of a transit agency can go out into the field and perform an evaluation. And those results can be trusted and compared to other evaluations as the methodology is known. So where do we hope to go with this in the future? Team XA hopes that this system will be used by transit agencies and the CSA group to improve the effectiveness of their standards evaluations. Next, we hope to expand this into different areas of transit, such as evaluating an actual streetcar or a transit hub. And finally, improving the lives of public transit users to help lower the stress of traveling, as we want to be part of the solution that lessens the curve of mental health issues regarding commuting. And with that, I thank you for listening, and I hope that you all stay safe.